M8 is fucking gnarly. Also, shoutouts to Colin for a break. I called for a break before our last hour of raiding, and we cleared on the first pull after we re-instanced. Like, look at this instance timer. So shoutouts to taking a break. Take a break, guys. It helps. So this can be either Stone Fang or Wind Bite. Stone Fang is just, it's a circle, it's a plus, and it is conal AoEs on every player. So just spread at your color spots. It can be on cardinals or inner cardinals. The tell is his weapons. So you'll see his weapons lock in. We find where they're not pointing. And do the thing. The other one is, I think it's called Wind Bite, which is a donut, but not, it still does the plus. So you have to be a little bit out. You want to be kind of like right outside of his hitbox, and it's just a targeted stack AoE on like a pair AoE on either all the support or all the DPS. So in that case, you would just have you meet up with your color buddy on the safe spot. So this could be either Revolutionary Rain or it's something that starts with an E. Revolutionary Rain is the out pattern, and this is definitely the harder pattern, especially for the tanks. So the way this works is he does the jump and then the dash from normal mode, but then he'll either do a big chariot AoE that's like probably about this big. Nah, I think it's about, I don't know, it's very fucking big. Maybe like this big. Yeah, I think it starts here and goes like this. It's very big. And then he'll hit the tanks. Let me see if I can. I think this might be either distance baited or baited on the tanks and healers. But he'll hit the tanks with this cone, which is wide as fuck. It's huge. And then he'll hit the healers with a slightly thinner party stack. So you want to be lined up like this. So what I used as a tell is, if you look, this little like, because it's not always going to be on like on a marker, he can jump kind of anywhere. So I use the edge and go in just a little bit. You have a little bit of wiggle room, but you kind of just want to be like here when you move into like the after animation of his dash. Okay, so this, couple things happening here. So he spawns a set of wolf heads that will either rotate clockwise or counterclockwise around the arena and do line AoEs through the middle of the arena. They will always spawn north or south, never east or west. So what we did is we would have our melees and tanks. And then, so hang on. So what he'll also do is he'll do a knockback from the middle. You can knock back invuln this. I would highly recommend it, especially if you're a ranged player. It's free. There's no reason not to do it. And then he'll just do a AoE on 4 players of the same role. That'll give you a magic vuln for 6 seconds, which means that if you get hit by the other one, you will die. So you got to make sure to spread these out. So what we did is we would send the melees and tanks to, if I can get a better view of it. So yeah, so the melee and tanks would always be on 1 and 2, depending on who gets the AoEs first. And then the healers and range would always be on 3 and 4. And then whatever role didn't get the AoE would just chill on D and B. You see here, supports get it first. So me and Chai just go to D and B. They snapshot super early, so you can move into the animations. And then we just rotate to meet that same criteria, but flipped 45 degrees. So now I'm going to be on 4 because we're rotating clockwise. If it was counterclockwise, I would go to 2 instead. And then the supports, the role that had the first set of AoEs, would just chill in between on A and C. So you don't want to, like, at first we were trying too hard to think about following the AoE, but eventually we just kind of used the markers and almost like, I wouldn't say ignored the AoE that was going through the middle, but only really used it as our indication of which way to go and obviously to stay out of the center. Because you can just kind of rush your way over here and just vibe. So I'd say if you're having trouble with that mechanic, just break it down like the markers that you stand on. So if you're not the first set of AoEs, you go, okay, I stand on B or I stand on D, and then I go to these inner cardinal markers afterwards and just ignore everything else. And then the other way around, if you are the first set of AoEs, you go, okay, I start on 3, and then I just go to C and I just stand there. Makes it a lot easier. And then that follows up with just a set of purple tethers that you got to stretch out. I think these are roll based, but it doesn't really matter. Ooh. Yeah, it looks like they are. So all 4 of one roll will get tethered to one of these dragon heads. You just got to get knocked back. Worth noting, obviously, you can choose to get knocked back by the first knockback and knockback involve this instead if that's easier for you. I didn't do that, but it's an option. So you stretch these out. Make sure you're standing behind the head so you don't get hit by 2. The other 4 just get knocked into their towers in their color quadrant, and then a big old stack afterwards. So this hurts like a motherfucker. It hits like 8 times, I think. It hits a lot. It hurts really bad. It's just a big mint and heal check. You'll see we got fucking so much shit on this. I think we had macro. Yeah, we got macro, divine veil, magic barrier, addle, probably a feint. We got soil. Like you want to mint that really hard. It hurts really fucking bad. All right, so this is actually way easier than it is in normal mode. In normal mode, this mechanic is actually kind of hard, but in this, it's really fucking easy. So basically, he's gonna slash these, and they always are gonna fall in the same pattern where one. So you can see how here this one falls like this, and this one. So it's basically gonna make the way I use the thing I use is the slash that's on the side, like the outer edge is the safe side, and then the other safe spot is diagonal from it. So in this, either 2 or 4 are going to be safe from the falling rocks. And then he also does one of these. So right here, you can see he'll do one that hits kind of cardinally and one that hits inner cardinally. So that leaves you with only 1 safe spot. So here, 2 and 4 are the possibilities. This is going to hit 2, so you got to go to 4. You just stand right on the marker and you're chill. So that Eminent Rain, that's the other pattern of this AoE. So Eminent Rain, instead of being the big out AoE, instead this is the one that's in normal mode, basically. He does a cone, and then he does this. So this is the same as before, it's just targeted on, I think, the healers and the tanks. Just a stack and a buster. We just have our tank stand behind him, and we stand kind of like right above. I think the other party actually stands right on the line. To give our tanks a little more room, we stand right above the arrow on his hitbox. But whatever works for you, really. Just make sure you're standing on your healer is basically all that matters. And then the ad phase, pack watch. So this ad phase is really simple. It does have one really annoying aspect of it though. So it's gonna spawn, so you get tethered. I think these are random. We tried to bait them, but I think they're just random. It might be like 2 closest and 2 far. I'm not really sure. I think it just picks a random light party, basically. So you want to move away from who you're tethered to, because that's going to give you like a firewall style debuff where you can't damage the target that you're tethered to. So it's going to spawn these these wolf heads, and it's also going to spawn these like orb and cubes around the arena, and it's also going to give 3 players a yellow debuff and 3 players a green debuff. There's going to be a short, which is about 16 or 18 seconds. It's 18 seconds, so this should 20 seconds, 21 seconds. So the short is about 20 seconds. You can think of it as 1, 3, and 5. That's how I think about it. So if you got the 1 debuff, 1, 9, 19, whatever. If you're looking at your debuff and it's in the 10s, you're going next. If it's in the 3s, you're middle. If it's in the 5s, you're going last. So you can do this in either order. We just picked one at random, but he'll also do pack predation, which is each ad will do this. It's a buster on the tank, and it is probably the main threat, and it is I don't know if this is a stack or if it's just a cone, but either way, it just gives you a short magic debuff. And then right after that happens, you want to have one person, we had the short wind, run through the same color like orb, and that takes a big chunk, about 20% of the ad's health off, and it also swaps your firewall debuff, so you now have to attack the other ad. So you'll see here, who is this? This is Chai Biscotti, has the short green, so as soon as we get hit by this, it only lasts about a second. You run through to the other side, you pop, and you are now on this side. Similarly, you gotta wait for this Vuln to fall off, and then you pop the next one. So you see Mirror coming in here, pops the square, that does damage to our ad, and now we're doing another set of these cones. Boom. Then I'm mid, so I go through the orb. You'll see boom, takes another 20%. Wait for the Vuln to fall off. Boom. Another 20%. Another pack predation. And then one last set of debuffs. So there is a really stupid thing with this fight. It has like a fixed timeline where you'll actually get some extra time at the end of the fight to damage the boss in phase 1 if you kill the ads fast enough. So so deaths and damage downs going into the ads phase are particularly punishing. Not only gonna hurt your boss damage going into the ads phase, but also it's gonna make you kill the ads slower, which is gonna give you less time to kill the boss at the end of the fight. So it's kind of stupid. It's like some fucking E4S instance memes. I wouldn't be surprised if they fix it. And then this is just a big fucking raid wide. It's like a multi-hit with a big hit at the end. And then the final stretch of phase 1 is basically 2 mechanics. So first you got this terrestrial rage. So this spawns 4 of these bits, these sage weapons. So what we did is we treated the bit that's at the wall. It's always gonna be in this pattern where it's gonna be like a bit, an open lane, a bit, and an open lane. We treat the wall bit as the new north here. And then it's gonna give either all the tank or all the supports or all the DPS a spread, and the other role, one person's gonna get a stack. So we kind of arranged ourselves where we had 2 people in this bottom lane, 2 people in this top lane, and the stack in between. So after this goes off, you need to move into it because this one's gonna go off next. And then after that, we flip to true north. So we do this relative to north, or relative to the bit, and then quickly identify where north is. And then the other roles are gonna get the stack, and then the role that got the stack is gonna get spreads. So we have the stack always go to A, and then we have the DPS split up. We did MRRM, MERM. That was kind of our orientation for everything in this fight, was melee, range, melee. So going around, you got melee 1, range 2, melee 2. So these can spawn. So right here you'll see, so actually, okay, we did get the rotate pattern. So they'll either spawn on cardinals or inner cardinals. So, or I guess not exactly, but so you have them on a cardinal, and then you have the spreads on the inner cardinals. But then sometimes you'll have to shift it over one. So what we did is, just to stay on the same color for the stack, we had the stack shift over, we had everyone shift over counterclockwise. So here they spawned like this, so everyone just shifts over one, and then boom. And then you move in, and there's another reflection. This is basically just like normal mode. And then he does another Eminent Rain, or whatever the big AoE is called, I forget. So this is Eminent Rain, this is the cleave. And then afterwards, just like normal mode, he's got the aftershocks from the dragons. So you just gotta dodge those as well. Another Buster, and then definitely the hardest mechanic in this fight, which is Beck and Moonlight. This mechanic is fast and really hard, so you kind of just want to take this one step at a time. So the first thing you need to do is you need to identify the order of the safe spots. So here, they always spawn in either clockwise or counterclockwise. I think. They might only spawn one way. I don't remember, but either way, you look for how they're spawning, and then you identify the safe spot. So here, it's C, B, C, and then I think D. I don't really look because we get callouts, but I think it's CD, CB. Or sorry, CB, CD. I'm gonna assume that's what it is. And then you get another set of spreads and stacks. So once again, it's all roll based. So here the supports get the stack, the DPS get the stack and the supports get the spreads. So you spread in the first safe spot, then you do the dodges. And then you spread out and stack in the last spot. So as you can see, we did another orientation like that where we did M, R, R, M with the stack in the middle. So this mechanic is so fucking hard because it's so fast. But here's how I break it down. So obviously, if you have someone calling out the safe spots, it's infinitely more helpful. But if you don't, you can't identify the safe spots on your own. It's just gonna take a little more practice. But either way, you identify the safe spots, and here's what I do. So once I know what the safe spots are, while I'm waiting for the first set of stacks and spreads to resolve, here's what I do. I look, you can see right here, I look at the 4 spots. I think about what's safe. So here it's C, B, C, D. So I think about the motion that I'm doing when I'm standing here. I think I'm gonna go like this. This is my, I start here, then I do a semicircle. Because the safe spots are always gonna be adjacent to each other, there's only a handful of movements that you can do. You can do like a semicircle, you can do a back and forth like this, where you go like boom, 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 or you can do a full circle around the arena, or you could start on one side and go like this. That's basically the only couple movements that you can do. So it's just something you have to get used to. But you'll see here, I'm standing, I'm looking, I go, okay, it's C, B, C, D. So I gotta go boom, 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 boom. And once again, you dodge towards the middle. You don't have to do super exaggerated dodges on the edge of the arena. And then if ever there was a mechanic you want to pop sprint, it's definitely this. Because this happens fast. You'll see here, 3rd goes off, and then 4th goes off, and boom. So it's very hard. It's like party synergy speed, IMO. So you just got to get used to it. So I'm like giga safe gaming here. The DPS check for phase 1 is not that tight, so I would just play it safe. Stop hitting the boss if you have to, and just focus on dodging. Wind Fang is the other one, so you see here. So after this, a set of dragon heads will cleave through the middle of the arena. It's always cardinal safe. So after you do your dodges, you just want to get to the nearest cardinal immediately. And then he'll do this, and then he'll do Wind Fang. So you see he's aiming at the cardinals. So that means it's in and inter cardinals. So me and our healer just meet up here. So you can see the inside of his hitbox is not safe. So you kind of got to do like, you got to stand like right here. And that's phase 1. Definitely the harder phase. This phase is really fucking hard. It's really fucking fast. It's just very monkasteer. There's a couple really tough mechanics in this phase. And then you get phase 2. Phase 2 is definitely like a little bit of a victory lap. It's still hard, but think this fight justified the Black Mage changes? Honestly, yes, I do. I kind of do. I hate that, but I kind of do. I think there's still a little bit about Black Mage that like is kind of stupid. Honestly, my biggest issues with Black Mage are still just Thunderhead and the lack of ways to utilize like MP generation. So you have to always cast B4. But it honestly, delete Thunderhead from the game and like Handshakeage, we'll call it even, as far as I'm concerned. I can't even imagine what this fight would be on like on Endwalker Black Mage. It'd be fucking crazy. It'd be doable, but it'd be crazy. So yeah, you can get your cutscene. Start off. So yeah, this has the diamond weapon arenas. One thing I want to say about this fight before I talk about the mechanics is so pretty much every tier since the start of Endwalker has had one fight that's kind of like a weird, goofy, like experimental arena fight. And I love that they finally had the balls to just do that with the final fight. Because this fight's so unique as a final fight. It's really fun. But yeah, it's got the diamond weapon teleporters. Anytime you use one, you get a mobile suit, which just makes it so that you cannot use the teleporter for like 3 seconds. Worth noting, if you're pushing in rage, it might go without saying, but try as often as possible to use a GCD before you step into the teleporter, so that you keep your GCD rolling. Might be obvious to some, but not to others. So, boom. Just try to keep your GCD rolling when you go through those teleporters. Just some light party stacks, nothing fancy here. And then we line up in a conga line here. So I think this always distributes, it's gonna give you 5, people have been calling them defamations, wave cannons, whatever you wanna call them. 5 AoEs that will hit the entire platform that you are standing on and give you a magic phone. The way I understand it is that it will at most target 3 players on a platform. So if you're split up into light parties, it will give you a 3-2 split. And the way you handle this is we do a conga line. If there are 3 people on your platform, because there's 5 platforms, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're on the east-west platforms. So if you are Ultraviolet Ray, that's the cast. So if you have 3 people on your platforms with the defamations, you have 1 go to the north platform, the northmost person goes up, the southmost person goes down, and the middle stays. So then 1, 2, 3. If you have only 2 like we do, the northmost person goes up, the south person stays. So you'll see here, we got 3 on this side, we got me and Jin with the 2 here. So Jin goes up, I stay here. Lily was there south, so she goes down. And then at the same time, you're gonna get a half platform cleave from all these lasers. Doesn't matter if there are other players that get hit by this, it's fine, you just can't get hit by 2. And then you all meet up south. There's a set of busters, Twin Bite, it's just gonna target, I believe, the top 2 in aggro. Hits the whole platform that they are on, so you gotta make sure the tanks are on separate platforms, and the party's down here. We rip the LB here. If you rip an LB3 here, you will get it back by the end. So you can do 2 LBs in this phase. This is a half room cleave and either an in or out. So you'll see this is an in. He's hitting the outside of the edge. So he's going to hit the right side. It's always like where his weapon is. So it's a little confusing. It's definitely like some Thunder God Sid shit. The towel is a little confusing in my opinion, but basically you just look at what side of his hitbox his weapon is on, and that's going to hit, he's going to hit the whole side there. I think the reason it's confusing is because it looks like he's looking this way, but he's cleaving this half of the room and he's using this arm. I don't know. It's just a really weird and confusing tell, but basically you just look for the weapon and you get on the other side of the hitbox. It's not so bad here, but in the end of the fight, it's a little more monkasteer. So you just go in and to the side where he's not holding his weapon. Worth noting, if it's out, the out is fucking huge. I think it's max melee, but it is huge. You need to be right on the edge of the platform if it's out. I think you'll see out later. Then we just go back to our light parties. It's another set of defamations. We handle it the same exact ways. Then we light party stacks, I believe. Yeah, light party stacks. And then we all group up south. He is going to pick a random player and destroy the platform that they're standing on. So you need to make sure that you're all standing on the same platform so that he picks a consistent platform. And then after that, what we do is we have our 2 tanks stand here, and we have the rest of the party kind of up here, because he's going to target 1 tank with a tank buster, and he's going to hit the top target in aggro with a big, like 200, I don't know how big it is, a big ass cleave. And you got to make sure that the party and the tank that gets the buster does not get hit with it. So you can't really see him get the marker, but Hiso, our paladin, gets the tank buster. Hiso gets the buster, so we have to go to Hiso's side. Cask needs to make sure he has the boss's aggro. And then he does this big ass, like 200-degree cleave. It's big. And then another random party member is just gonna get, I think it's a random healer, gets targeted with a stack. Just stack. Doesn't hurt that bad. Next is a set of towers and what we've been calling looper. So I believe the way this works is it's going to pick a random player and spawn a tether on them. That player is going to spawn this tether right here. So this tether is going to spawn on a random player. And when the attack goes off, it's going to drop a big expanding Sephiroth style AoE on their platform that'll kill you if you stand in it for too long. And then at the same time that the tether goes off, he's also going to hit the closest target with, or it might be a random target in his hitbox. I'm not sure. I think it's the closest target with a 2-person line AoE stack. So how we handled this is as such. He also, worth noting, he overcharges the teleporters, so immobile suit now lasts for like 7 seconds instead of 2. So it limits your movement. So right here, Howling Blade is overcharged teleporters. And so now that they're red, you'll see if I step in, 7 seconds instead of 2. So basically it just limits the amount of teleportation you can do. So here's how we handle this to make sure it's consistent. This is kind of tight, but I've never seen me or Cask or Muro rather fuck up this movement, but it is a little sketch. So basically, as soon as this tower disappears, you want to have your 2 ranged. So once again, you're going to have melee, ranged. So you see your melee, ranged, melee. So you're going to have your 2 melees split off to the 2 ranges split off to the melee platforms. So you want to do it as soon as the towers disappear so that you can only get the 2-second cooldown. You'll see it's pretty tight. As soon as we land, he overcharges the teleporters. So that makes sure that it's always going to spawn on one of the end platforms. So boom, towers go off. And we immediately come over here. So he's going to start casting 2-fold Tempest. As soon as he starts casting this, if you do not see the tether on your side, that means it's on the other side. And basically the way this works, it's like a Cachexia style mechanic or like a wormhole style mechanic where it's just you have a set of vuln debuffs that last a specific amount of time that dictates the order that you have to do all of this in. The way the tether works is you just pass it down the line. So the tether starts on our melees over here. So when 2-fold Tempest finish casting, the tether's gonna go off and the 2 closest people are gonna get this line AoE. So you want a buffer. So it's kind of like Looper in that you do something, then you do nothing, then you do something, then you do nothing. So we, as the 3rd in line for the tether, take the first line stack. So tether spawns, we come over here, we take the line stack. On the other side, the tether just went off. As soon as you do your mechanic, you want to just chill on the hitbox line until the next thing happens. So you'll see our melee come over here to pass the tether to the first set of ranged. Our melee over here go to bait the next line stack. So 2 full Tempest goes off again. They bait the line stack. They get an 8-second magic phone. And then the people that take this also get an 8-second magic phone. So then the range come over. They pass the tether to us. We take the tether. And then the people over here who took the first tether take the third line AoE. So we take our tether, we pass the tether to them, and then the ranged over here, which took the second tether, their vulns are falling off, so they're now free to take the 4th line stack. So they take the 4th line stack, they take the 4th tether, and the mechanic's over. So just let it play out. So we see who gets the tethers, we go into our assignments, we take the line, we chill. This mechanic does not happen super fast. You have time. Second set goes off. If you are not the person who's passing the tether, just go to the back of the platform so that you don't accidentally grab it. And then I chill to the right of Murrow so that when he goes to pass it, I don't accidentally take it. Also, if you're the tether picker-upper, stand right here so that you'll see Chai goes right in front of the teleporter to grab it. And then as soon as you can, as soon as the set goes off, you want to get the last set goes off, you want to get over to this platform. The south platform or the platform that you destroyed, whatever one you pick, will reform. He will do Bear Fangs. So Bear Fangs spawns this big clusterfuck of AoEs. But it's just a rotate. It's like that one boss from the first near the copied factory. It's like that boss where he does that, the 3 platform boss where he does like the rotating set of AoEs. It's kind of like that. But you're also getting these half rooms, so you got to dodge those as well. So, boom. Then I believe next up was an out. Boom. Then I believe it's the donut. Nope, it's the in. Boom. Then the donut. Boom. And then sides, make sure you look which side to go to. Boom. It's a simple mechanic. And then just another party stack. Another set of defamations. Handle it the same way. Then I think Busters. Yeah, Busters here. And then the last big mechanic, which honestly has been solved to be probably the easiest mechanic in the entire fight. So he's going to do Rise of the Hunter's Blade, which I don't really know what that does. Oh, that's the overcharge. And then he does Lone Wolf's Lament. Lone Wolf's Lament is going to spawn 4 tethers, too close, too far. DPS, healer DPS, tank DPS, healer DPS, tank DPS. And then he's going to spawn some towers. The 3 tower is always south. There's always 1 towers on east and west. And then north is 1, 2, and 1, 1. So here's how we did it. This is not our strategy. This is a strategy we found. It's super, super easy. If you're a healer, you just plant south. Both of the healers just plant south. The 2 green DPS go to their friends. So if you're a green tank, you just plant. And if you are a green DPS, you go to your friend. So Chai is tethered to Murrow here. She's going to go to him. Lily is tethered to, I believe, Cask. So she's going to go to him. I'm tethered to Hiso. So the long tank and DPS, the long tank is always going to go here. The long DPS is always going to go here, east and west. Then the short tank and short DPS and the long DPS who's tethered to the healer are all going to go up here. So right now we already have 3 of the 4 towers resolved. No matter what, this is going to be a 1 tower, this is going to be a 1 tower, this is going to be a 3 tower. So the only people who have to do anything are these 3 players. So right here, he's going to spawn the towers. I don't know if I actually look. Yes. So the players who are to 2 short tethers up here are going to go to this 2 tower. This can be here, in which case they stay here. And then the 1 player is going to take the 1 tower up here, the long player. So they go up here, this long tether DPS up here takes this tower, and boom, it's done. It's super easy. After the tether mechanic resolves, he will turn to a random player. We tried to figure out if this was baited. We could not figure out a way in which it was. So I think he literally just turns to a random player and does a hero's blow. Luckily, my side is safe here. And you'll see it's in because the lasers are pointing in. So you be out. And he's going to cleave this half of the room. So it's really annoying to dodge, but it is what it is. But you'll see here, this out is fucking massive. It's this much of the arena is safe. Teleporters go back to normal, and then that's it, really. You have another set of deformations. This is a little sketchier because you're a little more spread out. Ideally, you would go back to your east-west platforms, but if you don't, you can kind of just vibe it. We got lucky. This can definitely cause a wipe for you if you're not smart. And then Enrage. So Enrage here, you just he just destroys the towers one at a time. So he'll do a stacking damage buff on himself as well. So you'll see here, he hits the tower or the platform, and then he does a Moon Cleaver. Moon Cleaver destroys the platform. So what we did was we mit the first 2 because they hurt the least. It's important to note that he will target a random player on the platform and destroy their platform. If you can, so let me explain this here. So you want to make sure, so we have our tanks invuln these 2, but you want to make sure that your team does not leave the platform until he targets it. Because if you go early and he targets you, you just fucked yourself. Because he's going to destroy this platform, and then the people here are going to have nowhere to go. So he targets this, the whole team goes over, tank stays behind, takes the invuln. I've seen tanks invuln the buster, the root buster, and do it differently. So what I've seen is the other tank will stay here and use his invuln, and then 2 tanks will stay here and they will kitchen sink this. I don't really know much about tanking, but our tank said that the buster didn't hurt that bad and that it was way more worth kitchen sinking that and invulning these. So then our other tank invulns this one. So you see he gets a stacking damage up buff every single time he destroys a platform. Does one last Moon Cleaver. And then does one last Howling 8. Your tank is good as hell, so I trust him. Dude, Kasky Lane is my goat. I'm not lying when I said that homie carried this fight. He does a long Star Cleaver cast. The check here, it's not like crazy tight, but it is tight. So here's what I'd recommend. This is what we did. In phase 1, after this mechanic, while we're in the stack, we send an LB1. Basically, you get a free LB1 here if you do it like this. So we send the LB1. We send an LB3 as soon as we come back from the deformations when we meet south after the busters. So, or it might be here. I think it's here during the busters. Yeah, we send the LB3 during the busters, and then we send you get an LB3 back right at the end here. So right after you finish your 2-minute burst here, you send the last LB3. And in my opinion, that helps with this check a lot. And that's it, dude. This tier is so good. Like, I know I've been kind of gushing, but it's just fucking good, man. The fights are so fun. I had such a blast with this tier.